for succeeding to deliver what has been designed in the Big Data for Rivers project. I wish that this workshop will be fruitful for all of us. I can assure you that the Regional Development Fund of Attica paid a lot of attention for its success. We, the Regional Development Fund of Attica, are committed to play an important role in promoting cooperation in every field of this project, either as coordinators, partners, or simply friends. Thank you.
And as the Greek philosopher said, Aristotle, the sum is greater than the sum of its parts. So let's take advantage of this partnership and work along this morning. So let's hope so. Thank you.
The Big Data Rivers project, I was really impressed by the objectives set by the project. And I thought that this should be a quite interesting project, really. And the videos that we have just attended confirmed really that, yes, this is an impressive project, very well organized, and I'm pleased that I can take part in this project. So, as a member of the managing authority of the Attica operational program, I would like to thank the coordinator of the project, all the partners, and especially the Regional Development Fund of Attica for inviting us here. At this point, I would just grab the chance to introduce my colleagues from the Regional Operational Program of Attica, Mr. Angelos Spiliotis, who is the head of Unit A Programming and Evaluation, Mrs. Vicky Amenda, who is here, Vicky, yes, and also Mrs. Stella Bafiglia, also from the ROP of Attica. All right. So just because now the time frame is tight, I would like to begin this round table. And I would like to ask you to be brief, your responses to be brief, just because we have only 1 hour time available. So if you could please not exceed the 2 or 3 minutes of duration per answer, okay? And this round table, the topics that are going to be discussed here are the benefits from the exchange of GPs, the improvement or development of these new policy instruments, and also the next programming period policy instruments generally. Let me, before beginning the discussion, introduce the participants, okay? Mr. Antonio Sanfins from Iberian Association of Riverside Municipalities of Duero River from Spain. Mrs. Yolanda Tvarion-Gen from the Managing Authority of the Operational Program for the European Union Funds Investments from the Republic of Lithuania.
Hello.
Hello. And Mrs. Fatima Costa from the Managing Authority of the Alto Minho 2020 Strategy and Action Plan from Portugal. Right? Hello. Good morning. So, let us now begin with the questions. The first question, and perhaps Mr. Spiliotis could begin with this first question, okay? And then you may proceed. So the first question, could you please share with us a brief description of the policy instruments that each one represent? So, Mr. Spiliotis, could you please begin?
Which is the administrative, educational, political,
and a technological center not only for the region but for the whole country. The region of Attica
Biodiversity,
is
air quality monitoring and decontamination of historically contaminated sites, because in Romania we had and we have a lot of oil, and there are a lot of problems with these contaminated sites.
Environmental engineering. And during the project, Big Data for Rivers project, we were assisting our authority in policy improvement.
That's more representative for our region. And I can agree with you that we have a lot of waters, and they have not a lot of percentage that have reached good environmental quality standards. So we have a big issue with this, and
They have already finished the policy instrument in 2020, okay? The waters issues was already present in this policy instrument.
We have, of course, these focal points of creating strategic networks within layers of both urban and both rural areas.
So I'm in charge of the design, the implementation, and the monitoring of the Centre Val de Loire regional strategy of smart specialization on behalf of the region and the state. And
Monitoring issues, pollution sources identification, different application of IT solutions in the
add this to our policy instrument. And the other one that it's in line, it's that we have chosen a new method, a new monitoring method, and the screening program.
As
that
I said before, the new policy instrument of Castelo León is now in public consultation, but the water issues are a big part of this new policy.
Problems and challenges of the future, because water is going to be the gold of the future, so we have to take care of it.
the steering committee is also a topic addressed by Big Data for River.
Thank you very much.
when, in order to finance the proposed action plan, we examine two options. And all this in the program, in the regional program of the programming period 2020, 2014-2020.
Report, which is the first study of the current situation of the 7 partners. It's okay. We see the truth. The database.
Barst, we can now may begin. May I address the question first? Yeah.
Yep.
Do you think that the policy instrument you represent should be improved? And how do you consider the development of your policy instrument can be integrated in the future?
So, but I would say that for us, this
Yes.
this strategy or this regional environmental goals or objectives that we have a problem with that.
Your question, yes. Our policy instrument can be improved with the results of this first phase of this project, because was a project
As mentioned earlier, for the next programming period, we would like to improve the governance of our registry, and especially within the priority area.
From the regional program, back in the period of 2000-2006. And if we try to
The policy instrument should be improved. And regarding to this project, as I told earlier, the database is with good practice in the management of water, because there are some.
Definitely, the policy instrument should be improved, and I think the continuous work on improvement should be foreseen in the future. And
which do you think will be the positive contribution of your participation in this project, the Big Data Rivers project, and also regarding the pilot actions proposed in the action plans and the good practices exchanged between the partners, how can these have a positive impact on your policy instrument? So I would ask Mrs. Boulanger from France to begin in this case.
Yes,
Right?
and this network will mainly focus on the management of micropollutants, which are largely managed by municipality. So that real interest in our case. So I would also would like to take the opportunity to thank all the partners for the sharing of good practice, because I think that you identify more than 30 good practice. So it is a very huge amount for an Interreg project. So congratulations and thank you very much.
Thank you very much as well. Yeah. And now may we follow the reverse sequence and proceed with Mrs. Costa, right?
All about money. We don't have the money to do it all at the same time, of course. But I shall say that what we learn with this project is to better cooperate within our region.
I think that is one of the main conclusions of this project, is the richness of the knowledge that was changed between partners, technical ones and organizative ones too. So
With you that this is like at the core of this project. I think the exchange of these good practices. And usually in a project that we join is that you have a common problem. But in this case, I think it's very good in a way that you lift up your good practices and exchange.
In the partners. And actually what we learn a lot, and maybe as was said already by a colleague from Portugal, that it is no funds enough implement everything what we learned and what would be important for the region, for the country.
Projects
But
and all the commercial contracting inside the projects are dealing with this kind of problems today. So I think this is the main
local stakeholders, because, and I think that is very important to say this in this round table, because when we speak with these local stakeholders, they have different
So we are the ones that we are going in front. We can say that we open the path for the program and for the projects to activate it. This is why when I describe our job, sometimes I like to recall a term out of the army. It used to be...
I don't know if there is any comment regarding this discussion, or you'd like to add something? No? No. Okay, then. I would like to thank you all for participating in this round table. And I admit that all the aspects heard today were very interesting to me. I hope for the audience as well. And I hope that all the action plans are going to be implemented successfully. And I hope that I can meet you all in the next meeting as well. Okay, so thank you very much again. Bye.
Welcome to my colleagues of the round table. It's nice to see you in person after 2 years of intense work in an online mode. Nice to have these attendees and participants that are most of them stakeholders of the project and that had impacted the activity or lesson learned with the project.
I think the most remarkable moment is 3 December matching pairs. the emergence pollutants, that it was very, that all the partners have those problems. And it was nice to see that what each partner had a good practice in that area, and what it was nice to see the
policy
exchange.
instruments, the priorities, the objectives related to water management, and present methods and technologies and applications in that area. The whole procedure
We were in
was
Greece. I think it's a pity that we couldn't visit all these study visits, because I think when you are there, you get this, you can ask questions more easily and you can see firsthand, and I think this would have been even more.
Sophia. And what else for me, like personally, that I really understood that from the north to south, all the countries have the same problems regarding the water.
Good practices and learn so many lessons. I think it would be a bit unfair to mention one or two at this moment, but I will later when exposing our action plan. I think, and I agree with with our Spanish colleague, that
Portuguese. The decisions taken in Spanish area influence international and Portuguese area. It's very important governance. We are a cross-border organization.
But go a little bit deeper in these actions you will put in place in the next year. I think I will start this time with Joost. Antigone, please.
The plan is about the development of a pilot research early warning system of floods in buffer zones. It was inspired by the good practice, namely managing the risk of flooding on the Orleans Canal presented by Cluster Dream.
Anse Democrate at the Philly, Athens, Europe, and all the world. In my municipality, we aim to provide free electricity power from the sun and water from Parnitha.
In my speaking points, but the most important thing for the lessons learned and for the good practices situation is that we should close up the city halls and the mayors, because they are co-financing the projects.
It's very important money, but administration, how to do the contract, how to apply the law for this contract is very, very important too. If you have
good practices, or maybe all of those good practices identified in the project, was very interesting, and we were really discussing, because we have this huge problem, and nowadays this problem is even bigger.
And we have a lot of water in Sweden, so we usually waste it. But I think that's an eye-opening for us also to reuse more water, and also, yeah. I don't know if Anastina wants to add something about this.
So that's very good. And I also think the videos that we saw today and the other videos we have seen before have been interesting for us. And now when we couldn't have site visits.
So, yeah, so you are
Agency, environmental agency. Some aspects we have our municipalities, but we don't have any managing authority over them. So we are much dependent of our stakeholders, our collaboration with them, with the municipalities, with the
cross-border rivers are very important. It's very important, and our main highlights in our action plan, and I read because the
beneficiary with the constructor, and guess who? With the mayors, to see the works. People at the village and the small town know each other. They look in the eyes of the mayor What should we
Throughout the first phase of the project, we thought about a measure to be important, to be effective, to be possible to implement in the time frame of the second phase, and also to have a significant
Stakeholders for the policy instrument managing authorities with different point of views that had been shared along these 3 years of exchanges. I left you on purpose to the end, Julie, because
for better governance of the priority area 1, EU policy instrument presented by Nathalie Boulanger in the first roundtable. For this different step of your action plan?
For me personally, because I'm not from this area, so it was very interesting to see it, to discover new
Gaining all this experience and deeper knowledge in project policy instruments. The main gain would be that we have improved governance.
That this exchange of good practices are the most important thing from this project, and the ideas and also different perspectives that
and exchange of experience and increased competences for a region, lessons learned regarding the similar water problem solutions.
would be share experiences and knowledge, learn from others, identify weaknesses, try to transform them in opportunities by smart solutions.
The dialogue of public administration at all levels, national, regional, and local government.
if anybody of the audience wants to have the floor for one last comment or question before closing this roundtable. If not, I think, Vicky, I don't know where you are, there? We can close. Thank you very much to you all for this nice conversation we have and for the hard work you have during this last 2-3 years, even if it was on an online mode. Thank you so much.
Of the others. So at the end, I think that methodology that we have development, all of us, was the great issue, the great key, the great base of the success of this first part of the project. And as I said, the approval of all the action plans is the better way to show that. So at this point, I wish that all the action plans will be implemented with success, and I hope you all the best. Okay? Thank you.